Welcome to Artificery's review of the Destiny Dice Box. These are created by Faust Studio, and you can find them at Purple Gear's shop on Etsy. Links will be in the description if you want to go out and buy some. What I'm unpacking right now are called Irs Photo Keepers. It's actually a system that was made to hold 4x6 printed photos, but it's been working out really great for holding my Destiny collection for the past year. But this isn't a review of the Photo Keepers. I've done that before in written format, and I've been pretty excited for the past year to actually find a dice storage system that I thought would work better than the Photo Keeper. And the dice box was the first thing that really came across my plate that looked like it could fit the bill. The dice boxes are cardboard boxes that have two precision cut foam trays inside of them. Each one of them retails for $14.99 for the plain box, and if you want to get the stamp that has the set abbreviation on the side, it's an extra $3 and comes in at $17.99. The box's construction is like any BCW box, just kind of any standard box that you have for holding your card game accessories. Up top there was a nice foam insert to cover the tops of the dice, and then two foam trays, precision cut to hold Destiny dice. And it's kind of hard to tell here, but they are a little bit floppy. And once I get it loaded up with dice, you can see that they kind of buckle a little bit under the dice's weight. Now, I really should have had a better battle plan when I first started out recording this video of how I'm going to get over 100 dice into these trays. So while we watch me fiddle around with my dice collection, try to fit them into these trays, I'll just talk about kind of my final thoughts on the dice boxes. Would I buy them, and do I see myself using them? For somebody that keeps their collection at home and rarely takes it on the road, I think the dice boxes are perfect. They can hold your entire collection, separated by set, in numerical order of your dice, and it's just very easy to load it up and then open it up and quickly find exactly what dice you're looking for, especially when you have your binder sitting next to you. But worried about with the dice box is their ruggedness, and if they would be able to survive a trip to a convention. They're just cardboard boxes, and I don't know if they're going to be able to go into a checked bag or a carry-on bag and survive TSA and the airlines throwing around your suitcase all day long and come out in a single piece. That said, loading up the dice box was great. The precision cut foam trays held the dice perfectly, not too snug, but snug enough that they weren't falling out whenever I moved the trays around. The depth of the dice trays is also pretty spot on. I've seen some where the dice just go too deep into the dice tray and it's really hard to get your fingers in there and pull one out. It was really easy with the dice box. I didn't have any issues putting my fingers in and plucking out exactly which dice I want without fussing around with the dice around it. Now that all the dice are in the trays, I'm just trying to get the box opening and closing nicely. It's definitely a little stiff, and the creases need to be broken in so that the lid can move around freely. I also went ahead and tried to lift out this bottom tray, and you can see the dice tray is pretty wobbly when you pick up the dice. And it's also a little bit fussy to get that bottom tray in there nicely so that the edges are just right so that you can close the box. That bottom tray is going to stay in there most of the time though. I don't really see a reason to ever remove it from the box. And the top tray, if you take it out the way I just did, even though it does flex in the middle, it's not so bad that any dice are going to pop out, and it doesn't seem like the tray is ever going to be in danger of ripping. I went ahead and closed the box without the foam cover. I wanted to see how it would fit without the foam cover on there, and even without it on, you can see a little bit of a bend in the middle. The box just isn't quite deep enough to hold the trays and the dice. It still feels good, and at the very least you can say they're not going anywhere. I went ahead and put the cover on top just to see how it would fit, even though I knew it was going to cause even more of a depth issue with the box. I would just rather have that foam cover over the dice faces instead of it being up against that scratchy cardboard. And even though it made the box a bulge a little bit more, and you can see I'm having some difficulty getting that front flap to stay closed all the way, it wasn't so bad that I think this is really an issue. It just creates for a really snug package for all of your dice. But I could see some people just not liking how snug of a fit this is and that, the flaps don't close firmly. Once I do fuss around with it a little bit and work the creases on the box a bit, the flap does close better. And I don't know if I caught that in the video here. As an all-in-all storage system, I have to say I was rather impressed with the dice boxes. For only $14.99, being able to store an entire set of dice into a dice box, it's a pretty good price. A lot more affordable than other solutions I've looked at that have been custom made for Destiny. Especially considering you're only looking at about $75 to get enough boxes to hold an entire existing collection with a two-player game and room to expand into legacies. It's a really great price. And just for comparison, if you wanted to go do the same thing with the photo keeper that I have on the left there, you'd be looking at somewhere around $40 or $50. This end shot really shows the true power of the dice box. You can really easily see where in my collection I have dice checked out at the moment. Just looking at it from above, it looks like Sabine Ezra has been put together and Kylo Anakin. So a couple missing holocrons, heavy blaster, and some holdout blasters. This is something that with the photo keeper I wasn't really able to do, keeping track of which dice are checked out. So that's really where you have the big pro of the dice box, being able to keep track of your set. Where I think the big pro with something like the photo keeper is just ruggedness. I can pretty much take that thing anywhere and not worry about if it's going to be broken or not. But for anyone who's not concerned about taking their collection on the road and whatever they're storing in and getting beat up, I think the dice box is a perfect fit. Well, that wraps up my review. I'll continue to update this as I use the dice box over time. But for now, I think this is going to work out really well. Please subscribe to the Artificer YouTube channel for more Destiny product reviews and live Destiny play.